Chairman, I'm interested, of course, as a man who, has helped lead the SEC, understand the way in which this organization works, and has had to suffer some of the, abuse, it would seem, perhaps being leveled at you from the likes of Elon Musk. How do you think about that settlement that was made 4 years ago and the controversy that it stirred and the ongoing anger it still seems to be within, of course, Elon Musk himself?
I think it's basically Musk's fiction. If he didn't want to litigate with the SEC or couldn't afford it, all he had to do was say, I'm not going to litigate. I'll default and let the SEC get a judgment, and let's see what a court will order. But he spent probably hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal fees to execute a settlement that went back and forth. Having done that, he should live up to his agreement. He agreed to do it. If he didn't want to do it, nobody held a gun to his head.
The proverbial one, he was sort of saying it was in a difficult situation, financially precarious for Tesla at the time. But now, as we look forward, you, of course, were the 26th chairman of the US Securities and Exchange Committee back in 2001 to 2003. It's a different beast now, but it is a beast that's currently having to analyze what perhaps a taking private of Twitter looks like by one Elon Musk. The way in which he's conducted it, the amount that he's stating, again, with the all-important 420 number in it, is it something the SEC is going to be taking seriously?
I think it's very hard to take anything Mr. Musk does seriously. He always has ulterior motives, and there are serious questions about what he's really about. He has said that if his offer isn't accepted, he will have to reconsider his position. So he's already created an overhang on the market. And I think it's a safe bet that Twitter, although it has said it will review the offer, will ultimately reject it. That's not to say it should reject it, but it is to say that they will. They will have all sorts of reasons that they concoct to refuse to accept Musk's offer, and then the market price of the stock will plummet. So he's playing a game with Twitter and with the investors in Twitter and with the market for Twitter securities.
And it's a game or indeed a maneuver or indeed a way in which he conducts himself through the medium of social media, which is fascinating in this current day and age, and we shouldn't be shocked by it, given that we've had, the head of the United States, a president himself who used to give an awful lot of news via the social media platform. But how do you think an SEC can look at what is, an announcement of taking a certain amount of shares in a company, an announcement of then wanting to do a bid? How do you think SEC regulation can adapt to this new age of this news environment?
I think it's very difficult because the SEC's rules did not really contemplate social media. And while there have been very good attempts by the SEC to try to modernize their positions, it's still very difficult for them. The fact that somebody can simply tweet out to 85 million people, market influencing information is not something the SEC has yet come up with a solution for. And I think that is going to have to be something it takes a very close look at.
If you were chairman, one word of advice right here, right now for the SEC?
If I were chair, what would I do?
Yeah.
Well, I first of all would say former SEC chairs should be seen but not heard. So
nicely said.
That's one aspect. But I would say this: I would be investigating the origins of this offer. I would want to investigate why Musk filed the wrong form when he passed the 5% threshold. And I would be looking into a variety of Musk potential infractions.
Yeah.
I would want to consider whether any of those infractions should or could impede
Yeah.
the progress of his offer and whether investors have been harmed. I
Yeah.
believe he has done a lot of serious damage to the way the markets are supposed to function.